Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. Today on the show is Jim Barbee. He's the new owner and CEO of Nevada Strategies. And I'm Rachel Dahl in for Sam Shad today on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
The 13th annual Nevada Newsmakers Goes to Washington is brought to you by Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you. NV Energy proudly serves Nevada, providing electricity to 2.4 million electric customers. The Nevada Mining Association, mining a better future for Nevada. Silver State Government Relations, we know Nevada, so you don't have to. And University Medical Center of Southern Nevada, offering the highest level of care in Nevada.
Rev it up during the $250,000 Cash and Wheels Guaranteed giveaways at Carson Valley Inn. Thousands in cash and free play every Thursday and Saturday. Drive away with a 2025 Ford Bronco or $45,000 guaranteed. Rev it up at the Carson Valley Inn.
A power line is more than a power line. It's maintaining the bottom line for small businesses. It's keeping the assembly line moving for our workforce. For our brightest minds, it's meeting a deadline. It's on the front line with our heroes. And on the sidelines of the biggest games. It's a direct line to our loved ones. And it's a lifeline for the most vulnerable. There's a lot on the line.
Meet Nevada Health Link, Nevada's official health insurance marketplace. Your link to savings, selection, free assistance, and name brand health insurance, where 90% of enrollees lower the cost of their monthly premium. Everyone deserves access to quality health coverage, no matter your income or family size. Visit NevadaHealthLink.com. A few minutes could save you hundreds of dollars per month.
Nevada Health Link. Our plans are made for your plans.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
Good morning. I'm Rachel Dahl in for Sam Shad on Nevada Newsmakers. Today we're with Jim Barbee, who is the new CEO of Nevada Strategies. How exciting. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks so much for having me, Rachel.
Absolutely. You've had such a good career and our paths have crossed many times.
Many times.
I remember when you were at the Nevada Department of Agriculture. So that's a good place. Give us just a little bit of history so people know you have chops in this joint.
Oh, yeah. So I'm a recovering high school ag teacher. That's what I started out as, and I did 11 years with the Nevada Department of Education before moving over to the Department of Agriculture with Governor Sandoval as the director there, and I did 7 years in that role, and then I saw an opportunity open in Churchill County, and one of the best moves I ever made was moving my family and everyone out to Churchill County, and did another 7 years there before meeting my my PERS retirement option, and happily in retirement currently, but doing new things.
I think that's so exciting. People like us probably don't ever retire. Which I think is a good thing. I know you've been really good for Churchill County. You were good for the state when you were there. Talk about some of the things that happened in Churchill County, like the things that come to mind for me off the top of my head. Jim Barbee, Rafter 3C, Lands Bill, so many good things. And we talk about making people mad, but the sausage making, part of that is you end up with some good stuff.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think a lot of those things, well, first off, it's the irony of, I thought, well, I'll go out to Churchill County and it'll be a kind of a slower pace and, and all those kind of things. And I guess we create our own chaos, but we went into COVID. Right. And that was really what tipped things off. And county was heavily engaged and involved in that process and what had to be done through that. But we also looked at it as an opportunity, and that's what really started the Rafter 3C arena and that project and that idea. And it was about economic development even then. It was ensuring that with COVID breakout and thinking that we were going to go into an economic downturn, that we had a good project going within the county that was going to keep folks employed in the construction industry, because that's what falls off first. And little did we know that you would see such an expansion of the economy with so much cash that was infused into the system during that time. But it worked out good for Churchill County. Now they've got a arena that is around 12 million, 15 million in economic activity every year, which is driving sales tax and providing funding to help offset the cost of infrastructure for the county. So it's a good thing.
It's a really good thing. It's exciting. I know that small businesses are definitely benefiting from that. Talk about the booking, like how busy it is.
So talking to Jesse, he's told me at different times they're at 421 booking days a year.
That's
so
great.
365 days, right? So that means you've got multiple groups that are booking different parts of that. And I think with the expanded plans that we have for the facility, that's just going to become even larger, and it's going to definitely have a growing economic impact.
I think it's been so exciting. The 40th Cantaloupe Festival this year was in that whole, the whole facility. But into the Rafter 3C, it was the best festival we've ever had. It was so nice.
It was very pleasant. Absolutely.
Really nice, yeah. So such good things. We talked a little bit about the lands bill, the Navy's range modernization expansion effort that resulted in the thou shalt in the NDAA. Talk about that and the importance and where that is right now. Has it happened?
Sure. So in December of 22, the NDAA was passed and reauthorized, and in that it had the expansion of the naval base, about 600,000 acres, a little north of 600,000 acres in terms of their Bravo areas. But with that had to address the offset of the loss of public land and public space by the citizenry of Churchill County and of the North State, because we are an outdoor mecca. So with that, the county was given 14,000 acres in exchange. And given that is a little bit not accurate, in that the county also gave the federal government 25,000 acres that Churchill County owned out in the B-20 Bravo area. Right. So it was more of an exchange. So we got 14,000 acres there for economic development purposes at different locations in the county. And then we had another north of 6,000 acres for public purpose leases for Churchill County, which is anything from gravel pits to where future infrastructure can be placed for the county and all those kind of pieces. But to date, we're pushing 3 years now. None of that property has been transferred to Churchill County. And, with where the economy is absolutely today we're waiting to see what the Fed's going to do on interest rates. Right. We're teed up for expansion and industrial growth out in the Hazen area. Right. And, parts and pieces of this are definitely in those areas that would impact the economy in Nevada. So part of my new role as the executive director of Churchill Fallon Economic Development is to represent the county and work with BLM to get them to move on those mandates, actually, that are in the bill. They are required to transfer that land by federal law to Churchill County, and we haven't seen those things, and we're going to be pushing on that.
Okay.
Additionally, under the SNPLMA side of things, there is checkerboard resolution. And as everybody's aware, checkerboard runs up and down I-80 because it followed the railroad back in the 1860s when it was created, that will allow for land exchanges in land that's not as developable, maybe up on the top of the mountain where you have a piece of private land. You exchange that for a piece of fed land down by the railroad. Well, that has the opportunity to basically open up around 250,000 acres for economic development in places where you would want to see economic development, but in the valleys between the mountains headed towards I-80 and north of I-80 in what we call the 40-mile desert. So huge impact on Churchill County and our economy and the county's ability to thrive. And to date, the federal government hasn't delivered on that requirement.
Okay. So that checkerboard consolidation is separate from the other piece
Separate from the 14,000 and the 6,000. Correct.
Okay. One of the good things that came out of that NDAA language was the ability for the county to apply to SNPLMA for grant funding. And you did a lot of work on that project. Tell about that. That's super exciting.
So yeah, it is. It's going to be a game changer for the community. So again, 600,000 is closed off in the county for the expansion of the Navy base, which is great. We all support the Navy base and their mission, and we're all patriots in Churchill County,
Absolutely.
obviously. So good there, but we knew we needed to do something to address the loss of recreational access. And so what this did is it attached Churchill County, and there's like 4 or 5 other counties that are part of this fund, the Southern Nevada Public Lands Management Act, where land that is sold in a designated area around Las Vegas, that sale of that land goes into this fund, and that is an interest-bearing fund that then continues to generate revenue that these counties are eligible for. We are eligible under one area, which is recreational.
Right.
And so this last year and a half ago, we applied for, I think, $75 million roughly, but we were actually awarded $42 million, which was $32 million in additional facilities at the Rafter 3C, as well as $10 million at the softball fields. And then we're able to apply for that money every round, which is roughly a year and a half.
That's so amazing.
Yeah,
Just the
great opportunity.
Yeah. Just the facilities alone are going to be so nice. It's been fun to watch you guys do that process. I think I want to just make sure, because you brought this up, and the captain spoke at 9/11, and again, we heard from him how much they appreciate the relationship with our community. And I used to serve on the Nevada League of Cities military committee, and didn't know that wasn't normal. I just have always, my whole life, taken for granted the relationship Fallon has with the Navy, until I was on that committee. And he's right. No, communities aren't like that with their bases.
No, and that was probably the biggest challenge for everybody, speaking, for leadership in the county and specifically the county commissioners during that roughly 7-8 years of time as we were going through the process to get the NDAA passed, because the relationship was not good, right? We were heavy negotiators. We wanted to make sure that our community was taken care of and got the best benefits we could, while the Navy got the best benefits that they could. And that, there was an exchange, a give and take in that. We were able to achieve that, and as soon as that achievement happened, the county hosted a celebration of the NDAA for all the folks that had worked really hard on that, including the Navy staff. And we just reset that relationship, and from there on, it's been super positive and continues to be.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. Good.
We love those folks in our community.
We do, and they're our friends and neighbors, and we're all the same mission. I think that's such a good example, and we'll talk about this when we come back from our break, of just how rurals have to build relationships, why that's so important when you're in the rurals. So we'll be back in a minute with Jim Barbee on Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation, and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, we power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. But it's more than just growth. Our community is our foundation, supporting families, empowering local initiatives, and creating a place where everyone belongs. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Join us in building a brighter future right here in Story County. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
The trucking industry is the most resilient link in the supply chain, moving 95% of our freight in the Silver State. And while essential, the road isn't always smooth. Supply chain disruptions, rising fuel costs, and unrealistic rules and laws that hamper our ability to serve our customers and country. Our prosperity and every sector of the economy, manufacturing, mining, medicine, and food from farm to table is tied to trucks. There's nothing without trucking.
Hit the road in style during the $150,000 Roads to Riches giveaways at Tamarack Casino. Win up to $5,000 every week and a top prize of a 2026 Chevy Traverse or $40,000 in cash. It's the $150,000 Roads to Riches giveaways at Tamarack Casino.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
We're back on Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Rachel Dahl in for Sam Shad. We're with Jim Barbee this morning, who is economic development expert, veteran.
That's a reach.
I don't know. When you're a county manager in a rural county, that's top of the list, I think.
It absolutely is, yes.
And so I think one of the most important things is to be two things. Look really positive at your resources that are good, that you can build off of, but you got to be super practical about the challenges. And I know we've talked about those a lot. So top 3 for rural economic development.
I think the top first one in my mind is power, is getting power to the land that we can develop, that makes sense and follows the master plan for the community. And then I think when you get that power and you get those developments to start happening, industrial, commercial type things happening for us, not necessarily some of that in Fallon, but a lot of that out in the 40-mile desert area, that creates other issues along with the housing and the traffic that the increase in population is going to create.
Right.
Because, we want to have jobs in Churchill County that then also gives those folks that hold those jobs the opportunity to live and enjoy the community that both you and I love. And that's been a challenge. Today it was a challenge yesterday, and it was a challenge 5 years ago that we haven't been able to address. We have a lot of military folks that aren't able to live in our community that we want to be in our community because they're making a living in our community, but we just don't have the housing to make that happen.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that you bring up power. When I was doing economic development in 2014, we needed 3-phase power at a piece of property. And I didn't know, I'd heard that my whole life, but you go tearing down the Primrose Path trying to find 3-phase power. And as you follow that up the chain and you end up, talking to the guys who make that happen at the parcel, you end up in Hazen with a substation that doesn't have enough. So when you talk about power as a limitation, explain what that really means.
So basically, and there's a project that's going on in Hazen right now, an expansion that is going to fully load the substation that they have at Hazen. And there's basically no further room. And we've been talking to Nevada Energy for 7-8 years on this issue. And got some great people at Nevada Energy that I like the heck out of, but they haven't moved. They haven't done anything that's going to address the number of folks that we want to create economic action in the 40-mile desert in the Hazen area.
Right.
We have been told that it's a $20 million build to expand that substation, but that still doesn't expand the power that can be carried on the highline wires that is going to be required.
Yeah.
Some of our frustration even goes back to the NDAA. The easement that came in for Greenlink, Churchill County did that in the NDAA that allowed that easement for Greenlink to come through the kind of the B-17 in the Dixie Valley area, hoping that that would, try to, maybe get Nevada Energy to work with us to move forward on power. But thus far, for whatever reasons, and I'm sure they've got their reasons, we haven't been able to see that expansion. So we have land in several cases. We have water, which is always the issue that exists in Nevada, but we haven't got the power. And so now we're seeing a lot of these companies that are looking to move forward, doing self-power generation on those projects to make it work. And I think inevitably that's going to have some level of expansion capacity beyond theirs. And, everything's on the table and trying to figure out how we can deal with the power from the cooperative that the city has and looking there for maybe a resource to, trying to create new power regional sources that are outside Nevada Energy. We want to work with everybody that we can, but it's going to require some folks putting power in place, and that's going to then even create greater issues and tension on the housing and on the traffic, the infrastructure generally in Churchill County and Fallon. One thing that our folks 25 years ago, when they created the master plan, and the city council on their side has always focused on, and we're really blessed with, is we're a county with basically one community, the city of Fallon. And, we want to keep it that way. So we look at these areas that are out and away from the city as industrial, commercial areas, while we keep our schools, our housing, and everything centralized in the Fallon, city of Fallon area.
Yeah. Let's do water when we come back.
Okay.
Nevada water in 2 minutes.
We'll try.
All right, we'll be right back with Jim Barbee on Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome to the Ahern Boutique Hotel, where luxury and warmth come together in the heart of Las Vegas.
We take pride in offering a one-of-a-kind experience for both locals and tourists.
Join us for handcrafted cocktails and an unforgettable experience. Joel's Chop House, the perfect place to savor views of the Las Vegas Strip.
Satisfy your cravings at the Ahern Chocolate Shop.
No smoking, no resort fees, and the parking is always free. The Ahern Luxury Boutique Hotel is your home away from home.
It happens. And when it does, there's UMC Quick Care.
You're in trouble with the law. It's easy to think you'll lose everything, but there is hope. I'm attorney Orrin Johnson. Your first step is to hire a serious attorney with the experience to successfully navigate the legal system for you.
Sometimes hope means addiction treatment instead of jail, and making sure you're treated fairly.
Sometimes hope means fearless trial attorneys will stand up to the government when they get it wrong. Call or text Orrin Johnson Law.
We'll make a plan.
You'll take back your life.
Pro Group Management specializes in providing industries with the necessary components to satisfy and exceed workers' comp requirements. Every business has unique needs and specific regulations. Pro Group Management stays ahead of the curve, providing up-to-date services to keep your industry in top form. Discover how we simplify your tasks, improve efficiency, and reduce expense to keep you moving in a positive direction. Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
We're back on Nevada Newsmakers with Jim Barbee. We're going to talk water in Nevada in less than 2 minutes.
That'll be a challenge. It'll be brief for sure.
Well, it's fun in Fallon because there's been a lot of wisdom.
Yep, absolutely. We're one of the few valleys that has kind of the two different options with our surface water and the storage capacity that we have with Lake Lahontan and our surface water, and what we can do with that surface water, as well as the groundwater. Because in many cases, a lot of the story in the rest of Nevada is the groundwater, and that is for sure a significant part of our story. But that's also a story of how beneficial the Navy base is to our community in its direct link to water, because our aquifer is largely recharged by Lahontan Lake,
Right.
And by the irrigation systems that exist and carry that water to produce food for our country. And the Navy, 10, 15 years ago, when they created the conservation agreement program through the Navy, that basically is making sure that the Navy base is not surrounded by dense population. They're able to keep that open. They're able to address the noise issues that arise with the jets, and they're able to lay conservation easements onto these grounds. And we're like approaching 10,000 acres now that are under conservation easements, which guarantees that not only Lake Lahontan will always be there and that water will always be delivered to those pieces of ground, but what folks don't understand, so we like the green space, right? Everybody likes to drive around and see the green space. I do too. But what you don't see is that's what's driving the recharge on our aquifer, which is creating a much stronger, more substantial water resource for our future growth. I think the numbers, and hopefully I'm not way off, but I think this is close, is around annual recharge is around 1,250 acre feet of water without the lake. With the lake, we're around 20,000 acre feet of water. So it's really a dynamic thing that our forefathers saw and greened the desert, and greened our lives at the same time, because that's a resource that we would not have otherwise.
Right. Well, you did it.
Quick.
I appreciate you coming on today.
Thanks
you
so much for having
all you
me.
do.
I
You
appreciate
bet.
it.
All right. So we're grateful for Jim today on Nevada Newsmakers, and we'll be back.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
The 13th Annual Nevada Newsmakers Goes to Washington is brought to you by Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you. NV Energy proudly serves Nevada, providing electricity to 2.4 million electric customers. The Nevada Mining Association, mining a better future for Nevada. Silver State Government Relations, we know Nevada, so you don't have to. And University Medical Center of Southern Nevada, offering the highest level of care in Nevada.
Thanks for joining us today on Nevada Newsmakers. Remember, you can always watch us at nevadanewsmakers.com or any of your audio or video podcasts, or of course YouTube. Thanks again for joining us on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.